here. Okay, so let's go. The next one we got is another profiling operation. Okay, and what we're going to do here, let's go back over here, 2-axis profiling. Now in this profiling operation, you'll see that we have another level right here. If you look right here, this is another level. This is this level right here inside these areas right here. So we got holes which are tapped holes here. This is the tapped hole that represents that cut level. So we actually have, I guess you could consider them pockets, but it's just only a pocket when it comes out to here, because you don't want to pocket all of this out. You've already cut the inner hole out. So we're going to use a profiling, and we're going to give it an offset so that it cuts offset just enough to get out past this edge right here. Okay, so we got our geometry. Let's see what we're going to select for geometry. We're going to remove this, and we're going to pick these outer edges here, and we're going to pick these outer ones here. So all of these curves right here, this is a pocket. Okay, this is this cut level right here. It's going down from 0545, and it's going down 0.118. Okay, very similar or nearly exactly the same as this pocket on the outside. The depths are exactly the same. Okay, but we're, instead of using a pocket, we're using a profile. So let's go ahead and right click. So let's select the tool. We're going to use the 0.5. Feeds and speeds, clearance, cut parameters. Again, on the cut parameters, we're going to leave it at 1,000th. We're going to leave the stock to 0 since we're finishing up on the all the way around here. And for the cut direction, we're going to leave it to mixed. We're going to start at the midpoint of the curves for the start cut point. And again, we're going to use for the inside outside, we just go ahead and use this option. We're going to cut on the inside. Okay. Now here is where we're going to use it to, again, calculate a roughing and a finishing. So we're going to use our roughing. So we're going to give it a width. This is going to be 0.3 this time. And we're going to use an offset of 0.15. So what's going to happen here is it's going to back off from the perimeter 0.3, which is further enough away to get past this hole. Okay, so it's going to be like a little shelf right here. Okay, so let's look at what else we got on our cut levels. Again, let's look at our section view. This area what we're cutting, okay, is a profiling operation. And it's cutting along this edge right here. Okay, you see this edge? And this edge, and it extends out past this edge. This is that edge, outer edge, inner edge right here. And these holes are the drill and tapped holes right here. Okay, so the section view only does, one side of it. You don't see all of it. Okay, so the start of the cut, again, is going to be at the negative 0545. Because we already have it machined down to that cut level. We're going to start there and want to come down another 0.118. Okay, so let's enter. We're going to use the pick top again. Just like the pocketing, we're going to enter negative 0.0545. Okay, that's going to tell it that it's going to start cutting right here. Okay, and we're going to cut down 0.118, just like the pocketing. We're going to do it in one cut level. Okay, so again, if you want a little bit more understanding, you can look at this picture right here. Okay, so we're using the pick top. Okay, the top of the cut. We're saying that it's negative 0.0545. It's not at the top of the stock. It's not at the bottom of the stock. It's at this cut level right here. Okay, so that's in this picture right here. That's illustrated by the orange line right there. Okay, and then the blue lines are the separate cut levels. Okay, you have a total cut depth of 0545. if you look at this total cut depth picture right here, this comes from the top of the cut all the way down to the bottom, okay? Actually, in this cut, it's not going all the way down to the bottom. It's only going down 0.118. But this illustrates the different cut levels. You can use this field right here to tell it how many cut levels. You can use the slider, or you can tell it exactly how many cut levels you want or how deep they go for each cut level. We're just using the same value for the total cut depth because we're only using one cut level. If you wanted to use multiple cut levels, you can just enter the actual value. It's a positive number. The actual value of each of the cut levels. How many times does a tool cut to get down to the bottom of your profile? Okay, so we're going to use just one cut level. And we're not dividing it up into roughing and finishing. We're just doing one cut at the bottom of the profiling operation. I hope that makes that a little bit clear. We're going to be talking about this a little bit more. We got another 2 operations to do. So entry and exit, we don't want to use arcs and circles because we're constrained inside this area. We're going to do a long path to do a ramp in, and we're going to do none to do a retract straight out. Okay, so let's look what else we got here. We're using the 1/2 inch tool. We've got arcs. We don't really need any of this because we're doing an inside cut. We're not going to do any of that. We're not going to use that. Let's generate this. Turn that on. Okay, so you'll see what happened is it created 3 not cut levels, but 3 stepovers. Okay, so the first step level cleared it past this cutout right here, and then the last one is the finishing path. Now you might be asking, well, you're cutting air right here, you know, because this already goes all the way through. I'm not going to worry about that. The way we did it right here is the fastest and the easiest way to understand how to do it. If that concerns you, you can go in and just, you know, create like a square box around that area if you want to do it that way on both sides. It's up to you. But we're just doing this, you know, perimeter on the outside. And it's the same over here, and it's the same here. The offset, X and Y offset, is enough to clear it past these circles. Let's go ahead and simulate that. Okay. Let's change that color to, say, green. Okay. And let's look at our profile here. So we have another, we need to change this stock to semi-transparent. Okay, so this cut level is at the same level as the pocket. You'll see that, you know, it starts over here and it cuts, this profile goes along at the 0.118 depth. Okay, and that is at this cut level right here, level C on the drawing. And if you want to, we can simulate that a little bit slower. Okay, so that it cuts out. Let's turn the toolpath off. So it cuts out. Let's turn this back to opaque. So it cuts out past this through hole. So we get that lip that we need to do these tapped holes on. And it does the same thing on the other side. Actually, I didn't select these 2 either. So let's go back in here. We're going to pick the shift key down, and we're going to pick these additional ones. So it adds it to them. Let's regenerate that. Okay, so we got the 4 cutout profiles and these 4 or 5 through holes there. Let's simulate that again real quick. Okay, so there's our part as it is right now. Now, what do we need to do next? We got about 10 minutes, so we're going to go a little bit faster in here. So we're going to do another profiling operation. Okay, let's do another profiling operation. Let's get rid of that. And for this one, there's another ledge right here. Okay, so this is the one we're going to use, the outer one. And again, you'll be cutting some air. I'm not going to worry about that. So we're going to use that for the cut level. The tool is going to be the same. Everything's going to be the same. That should be here. I need to do that to, I believe, let's see what it needs to be. Okay, this time is 0.2. And it's going to be a 0.1 for the step over. Okay, for the cut levels. And where are we going to start at? Very similar. We're starting at the top of our facing operation, and we're cutting down to this level right here, just like the pocket and just like these shelves right here. So we're going to do this. The pick top is going to be negative 0.0545. The total cut depth, again, is going to be 0.118. Okay, so we're going to make one cut level, 0.118. And entry and exit, we'll do a ramp, and we'll do it extract straight up. And I believe that is it. Let's generate that. Okay, so let's look at the tool. We need to use a smaller tool. Okay, so we look at the top. You'll see that it's doing a profiling operation. The stock allowance is 0, so it's clean out. It's like a finishing pass on the inside. So it's starting 0.2 away, and it's working its way in to do a finishing pass around it. And again, this is cutting air, I know, but it's the easiest and most expeditious way to program it. So let's go ahead and simulate that real quick. Let's change this color real quick. Change that to green. Okay. Okay. So there's our shelf right there. Okay, so let's go to the top.